Yeah, ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, visible. You can start.
Okay. Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mamta, and yeah, I'll be presenting today. So let's start. So, firstly, I'm working on Asta. Let's see what is Asta. Just now, sir explained. It's like an app where we can have both doctor consultation and also where we can take up courses for a better and healthy lifestyle. See, it's basically like two different apps serving in a one application. So it's a very great one. And yeah, what's my role in this Asta project is I'm a front end developer. Okay, so like most of you might have already know about web development, but just in view of the audience, I'll just give a 1 minute explanation. So yeah, basically web development is of two types, broadly classified, front end and back end. You might heard these terms very often in IT industry, right? And also, yeah, we have full stack also. It's front end plus back end coming together called full stack. Coming to front end, so the term itself signifies the meaning. It's about where users can see and interact. It's a part of the website. I mean, when you click on a website and what you are seeing there is comes under front end developer. That's what a front end developer has developed. And backend is like what everything happening behind the scenes. And also coming to client side and server side, you might have heard these terms. So when someone is saying they're working on the client side of the application, that means they're basically a front-end developer. And when they suggest they are working on a server side, that means they're back-end developer. Yeah, we have different languages and tools in both front-end and back-end. Here I have listed a few. We have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js, AngularJS, and many more in front-end. And for back-end, we have like PHP, MySQL, Go, and Node.js. Okay, so coming to front end development, since I'm a front end developer, uh, front end development is basically based on three main languages. They are like HTML, the hypertext markup language, which means the basic structure of the web page. I mean, the data which you're seeing on the web page, it's like a static data. I mean, you just can't change the data. That can be developed using HTML. And we have CSS. So the data which is displayed by the HTML elements can be modified by using this CSS. That means cascading style sheets, which itself says that means it is used to design and style your web page in a better way. And we have JS, that means JavaScript, which is for the dynamic nature. Like JavaScript is the one which allows you to interact with the website actually. So these three are like the core for front end. And see, we know, right? We humans are never satisfied with what we have. We always tends to grow better and better. We want to make our life much easier, right? And that's how we always see different languages or tools coming up every now and then in this IT industry. And that's the way this React.js, AngularJS, all are just the manipulations of these three languages. And yeah, so regarding this web development, one more thing you need to know is DOM. It is the document object model. That means, suppose you have built a website using this HTML and all, but we need some structure. Suppose you're planning to do some work, but you need to know what is the task should be performed first and what comes next, right? Same works for HTML documents also. This DOM is practically a object-oriented representation of a web page. That means I'll show you a page. Suppose this is your HTML document. We have a model. It's just representing all the elements. See, right? So DOM, it's the entire UI of your application. I mean, everything which is displayed on your web page is a part of the DOM. I mean, everything comes under this DOM. It's like a programming interface for all your HTML documents. Yeah. Yeah, using this DOM only will access, like suppose we want to change this element, suppose we want to change an element in this body element, then we'll use it, like we'll get the element using this DOM model only. That's about DOM. And And yeah, coming to my project, I've used some of these technologies, mainly React.js and Redux, JSON server, and Moment.js. Let's see one by one what are these. So yeah, React.js. So this React.js is a library. It's a library for creating fast and interactive interfaces for your web applications. So this React.js was actually created by Facebook in 2015. That means they have made this React as a open source in 2015 itself, and still it's a popular language. See, even now, companies like, of course, Facebook and Instagram, Skype, Discord, still they're using React.js. Okay, so why React.js? As I said, we have different tools and we have different technologies, right? So why we need to use only React.js? Why you need to choose React.js? So some other excellent features of this React.js is it's a component based and virtual DOM and unidirectional data flow. I'll explain what that means. Okay, component based. This React.js is all about components. That means you have, it's like components are the building blocks of React pages. Suppose you have a page, suppose I assume this is a web page. Then you have a whole, so many components, right? See, the first we have a component. This light shaded one is like a whole web page. We have that is represented in one component. And for suppose when you're opening a web page, let's say you have a header and you have this footer and it had different body parts, right? So all this, each one is divided into a different component. And the best part in React is we can use these components again and again. They are like reusable. That's the best part. That means the same header component which you're writing in your first web page can be used in the second web page of your application. That makes life so easy. And yeah, these components like a page can have multiple components. Yeah, and component is like collection of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are nothing but this collection. It's just normal front end code, and there's nothing new created in React. As I said, it's just a manipulation of these three things. Then going next. Okay, so we have two different components in React. First is functional component and class component. See, a functional component is nothing but a plain JavaScript function. Like we don't have the option of setting state in a functional component. That means we can't change the state of any value. But class components have that feature. I mean, you can set some state in class component. And also this functional components, so as I don't have this option of setting state and all, they are sometimes called stateless components. But this class component offers, like, comes with the various features. But the disadvantage is it's quite complex to work with class components, handling all those functions sometimes which we don't actually need in our application. So based on what you want, like what you actually want from the component, we go for a functional or either class component. When you are, and the main thing is we have this render thing in class component, but we don't like functional component don't offer such rendering. So when you want to have this rendering, you can go for class component. And yeah, but from the recent update of React.js, they have included React hooks, which means we can change the state in functional components also. That's about components. Yeah. The next and most important feature of React.js is this virtual DOM concept. Yeah, I have already told about DOM, right? Document object model. So let's see how this works in React actually. So actually, what happens is when we change an element in our web page, the whole DOM gets, modified, and the whole reloading of the page might take so much time because it needs to check what has happened and I mean in which branch of the element has changed and all. But with React, what React does is, suppose, yeah, this is real DOM. Assume this is the real DOM which the browser is maintaining. In React, it creates a virtual DOM, which is exactly like the copied version of this real DOM. So, and what it does is when suppose this a state is changed. See this is in light green color, right? These are in blue. So this state has been changed in React. So there is a state change, it first gets updated in the virtual DOM. See, even here in the browser DOM, it's not get updated. It gets updated in the virtual DOM, and finally, what this virtual DOM does is after the changes happen, it does it compares with the previous state. It compares itself with the previous state, and it sees the difference between the actual DOM and the updated virtual DOM. So now, what happens is it just updates. So here in this real DOM, the rendering doesn't happen from right from the start. It just changes these two nodes where the rendering actually happened in the virtual DOM. So this way, what happens is we can have, suppose you are clicking on something and it takes some time to reload. With virtual DOM, this process is made so simple. That means your reloading happens in like a few seconds. But whereas with browser DOM, it might take so much time. This is the best feature in React using this virtual DOM. Yeah, this is about virtual DOM. And one more feature is we have this unidirectional data flow. That means our data can be passed only in one direction. Like suppose I said we have different components, right? We'll be having a parent component and it has many children components. So what happens here is you can only pass data from the parent component to children component. That way you can have a better control of the data flow. You are less prone to errors now with this unidirectional data flow. It makes debugging also easier. You can know what's actually happening. You don't need to confuse and all. And this is one more silent feature in React. Yeah, this props is another main keyword which you encounter when you're dealing with React.js. Props is nothing but shortcut of properties. It's the keyword which means you'll be passing props, like you'll pass the data in the form of props to your child component. And yeah, and also React, we have this JSX feature in React. Basically, React is based on feature. It uses this JSX feature. JSX is nothing but JavaScript XML. See, it's like JS, JavaScript, and HTML. Some modified version came, and that we are calling as JSX, and that is we are using in React.js. It is just a syntax extension to JavaScript. It's almost like JavaScript, but it contains some HTML elements. So it is used for writing HTML in React project, and also it's easier to write and add HTML in React with the help of JSX. React supports JSX feature. Yeah, suppose with plain JavaScript, you can't you can't give a HTML element to a variable, right? But in React variable, you can give a HTML element, like you can give this tag to this React variable in JSX. We can store plain HTML in React variables. And yeah, so as I said, render function in React. Basically, this render function returns the return function is there in React. No, it just returns this components in JSX form so that browser can display it to you. That's about React. And coming to React Redux, I've used this tool. So I told you that props, like we have to pass data from props, like from parent to children. There's a case like you have a component, sorry, there is a child component to it called B, and this B has another child component C. Let's assume this case. Now what happens is you want some data and C from the parent component, I mean A. But what happens is how to access the data in C. You need to pass data from A to B and from B to C. Then only you can access data in C. So it's like it's unnecessary, right? I mean, you don't need that data actually in B component, but still you end up passing the data from A to B and B to C. So to avoid, this is generally called prop drilling in React Redux. This is called prop drilling, this method of passing data. So that can be avoided using this tool, for managing your data. So what we does here is we store all the data. We create a store where we can store all the data, and now this data can be used anywhere. I mean, you can use this in any component, regardless of it's coming from parent or anything. You can use this store data in any of the components in your application. So that's the best advantage of React Redux. It's used for managing the state. And yeah, so this Redux actually works on three main principles. We have an action creator, we have a store, and we have reducers in Redux. So what it does is, suppose this is a view, this is the component you have. So when you are interacting, I mean, you click some button or something, then an action is called. See this arrow, an action is called, and this action, what it does is, it sends an action. It dispatches this action to the store. So what's stored as is, it takes the previous state and action and it passes to this reducer function. So changes happen in the reducers function. So according to the action that is coming from this action creator and from store to reducer, the changes happen accordingly and it returns a new state. So this new state again is, now this new state is updated in the store, and that's how this current state will be now viewed, like visible to you. This is how data flows in Redux. And this is about Redux. Yeah, and I have worked with JSON Server. Like one of the main problems faced by a front-end developer is, we don't always talk with the backend side. I mean, we need to know how the data comes from the backend. I mean, because we need to display that data, we need to style the data. Suppose there's some data coming from the backend, and our job is to style it and display it in some specified manner to the user, right? But we need, for displaying that, we need to know what actually the data is coming. So for that, we create this JSON server. This JSON server, what it does, it does many things. Suppose, see, it's like a database. It creates some tables. It's like a server, and yeah, it's like everything coming in a single package. This JSON server helps you interact with the backend. I mean, it plays the role of the backend for our front-end developers. So you might have heard this APIs, right? Application programming interface. So this JSON server helps you create one API, like a dummy API. Like we can create a JSON file, and if we run this JSON server, that JSON file will act as your API, like your database thing. And yeah, and see, this is the client. Suppose this is the user part we are. So this, using this JSON server, we can make different HTTP requests. Like you can access the data which is present. This REST web service server is there. No, this is nothing but a JSON server. JSON server does this job. It can give you data. It can act as a server, everything. And according to your request, suppose you want to delete some data in the server, if you send a delete request, it deletes and it gives you the updated HTTP response that can be displayed to the user. That's about JSON server. Okay. And my work in this project is, I have worked with the schedule timings part in doctor panel, where a doctor chooses time when he's for the slots, like when he's available for the patients. And I have worked with searching doctors for the patient panel. I mean, he can choose when the patient can choose the doctor, right, according to the filters. I've created two filters. One is based on the gender and one is according to the specialty. That is what I've done. Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mamta. Any questions from anyone? Any questions? Okay, Mamta, like I want to ask like question. What is the difference between the state and the prop?
Yes, ma'am. Like props is you are passing the data no from parent. We have a parent component and we have a child component, right? This props keyword is nothing but the data which is coming from the parent component. That is in the form of props, that comes in the form of props to the child component. And state is nothing but like state, we can create a new state, like state is only available in the class component. So we can set a new state. Props is like a different data, and using this state we can create some other data, but this data is available only again in that particular component.
Okay. Any questions,
Very nice
sir?
presentation. Yeah, no
I'm done.
questions.
Really good presentation, Mamta.
Yeah, it
Very
was
nice,
really a good presentation.
Very good presentation. I appreciate you.